going to show you a quick tutorial on how to take your blades apart so you can replace the blade or to zero gap your blades as well. I've already taken one of the screws off. Before I start anymore, just to let you know, I normally use a flat mat, so I've got everything in front of me, screws, screwdrivers, whatever I need in front so I can get going, plus it's soft, so if anything falls, it falls on something soft. So start off by taking the screw off, putting it with the other one so you don't lose it, and the blade comes apart. As you can see, once you've taken the blade off, you have a top and bottom screw there and there. This is what holds the blade together, and that's what also helps you adjust your blades. So first unscrew these. Right, once that's done, as you can see, now the blade has come apart. Once the blade is apart, if you are looking to replace the blade, this all just literally just falls apart, so you can just pull that off. Now the blade is away from the plastic behind and where the spring sits to keep the blade together with the other one. Now once you've taken it apart, on the back of the rear blade is this plastic bit here that goes in the rotary that helps the blade move left and right. You can pop that, just put a screwdriver there, apply a little bit of force, and it all comes apart. Once you've done that, to put your blade back together again, you can literally just pinch the spring, slide, and it all goes back in together nicely. Now, once you've done that, you want to put this back onto the blade that you have. Get your small screws that are here, oh, nearly. This is probably one of the main reasons why I use a magnetic head, because it makes life a lot easier. Put the screws in. Now I always go anti-clockwise till you hear that click, and then screw in. Once you've screwed in, don't go tight, just nice and soft. Get the other screw, and the same thing again. Anti-clockwise, click, and screw in. Just softly, not too hard. You want to be able to adjust the blade. Now if you see, the blade can move up and down. I know I've got big sausage fingers, sorry guys, but you go up and down. It's because you haven't tightened the bottom screws yet. Now what you want to do, you want to get it as close to the top as you can. Now you can see that it's overhanging. So obviously if you try and do anything with that, that'll just end up slicing someone. So you just push it down a tiny bit. Now I use the thickness of my nail as my guide to how far I want to go with the zero gapping. So you want to just come down a tiny bit, enough so your nail can sit there. Now push up on the blade with your nail in front of the bottom blade. So you've got a tiny, tiny lip. So there you go, just a tiny bit there. And then at the same time, using visual, you can just make sure everything's in place. I don't know if you can see that on here or not, but there is literally just a tiny gap between the top and the bottom of the blade. Once you've done this, you can go ahead, tighten the screws. Just softly, don't apply too much pressure. Done. Again, just check it. Once you checked it, just give it a quick move about, make sure the blade's nice and tight in, it hasn't moved. And again, just give it a secondary tighten. Done. That's when it goes back onto your trimmers again. Now, when you put this back on the trimmers, the rotary part here, me personally, I like to have it facing upwards. It doesn't really make a difference, but that's how I like to do it. That goes there. And then once you've done that, you make sure the holes from the base are held up there. Push your screw in, use your screwdriver, and again, I go anti-clockwise and that click. This is basically so you don't thread the screw, because once you thread the screw, it doesn't work anymore. Shock horror. Same with this one. Now, unfortunately, I have played with these trimmers so much, I have absolutely destroyed one of the screw heads. So we got just left till it clicks. There we go, it's clicked. and then screw in. Once this is screwed in, there we go, nice and tight. There we go, turn them on, and they're working fine. Once you've done that, you can use your forearm as a test to make sure that they're not too sharp. Once you've tested them, just literally just on your forearm, if you press down, yeah, they're not scratching, they're not biting, and again, corner of the blade there and there, the same amount as your pressure as you normally apply when touching someone's neck. Now, see the sharp, there's hairs there, hairs are gone. Nice and easy, hasn't scratched, hasn't bitten, hasn't drawn any blood. Now, after doing this, I always apply a tiny bit of oil or a bit of lubricant or disinfectant, it always works the same. Thanks for watching, guys.